About Johnny Bones Jones arrest, Johnny Bones Jones's retirement, your new UFC heavyweight undisputed champion, UFC Baku, Khalil Roundtree, Jamaha Hill, Oral Bay, Razor Blades. We got a lot to talk about, guys. A lot to talk about. Let's dive right into it. Jon Bones Jones has officially retired from the UFC. Jon Bones Jones will not fight Tom Aspinall. Dana White had this to say. Jon Jones called me last night. This was Dana White at the UFC Baku post-fight presser last night after the fights. This whole thing broke out, man. Massive news. About 7 p.m. Eastern time. Baku started at noon. UFC Baku started at noon. Maybe around 5, 6, it ended. It was a great card. A lot of decisions in the beginning, but it picked up. But Jon Jones announced his retirement. Dana White said he got a phone call from Jon Jones, said, I'm done. I'm not fighting no more. I'm not fighting Tom Aspinall. I'm not fighting Francis Ngannou. I'm not fighting no one. I'm done. I'm retired. So that means Jon Jones will vacate his UFC heavyweight title. The UFC did it for him. It's done. Dana White said Tom Aspinall is the new undisputed UFC heavyweight champion. Tom Aspinall is happy. He said, I'm going to defend my title. I'm going to be an active champion, and I'm going to do the things that Johnny Bones didn't do. Well, let's just be honest. Jon Bones Jones was a dominant champion for the last 15 years. He fought twice at heavyweight. He hasn't really been around that much. I think he's fought twice in 4 years, maybe. I'd have to check the stats. He hasn't been around that much. He's just been in the news. So Johnny Bones is retired. Tom Aspinall is your new champion. It's a new day, guys. It's a new day. It's summer. It's Sunday, June 21st. Summertime. New champion. Let's go. More news here. Jon Bones Jones was arrested back in February for a hit and run. Evidently, he was the driver. He fled on scene. The woman in the car said Jon was the driver. The woman in the car had no pants on. She only had clothes from the top up. And this is from the Albuquerque Journal. This news broke last night about 6, 7, 8 o'clock after UFC Baku. Yeah, after Jones retired. Any coincidence there? I'm not sure. But Jon Bones Jones is no longer a UFC champion. It's been a long time. It's been a long time. He's either been the UFC light heavyweight champion or he's been the heavyweight champion for the longest time. Jon Bones Jones was arrested or under suspicion from February, a hit and run. A woman claims that Jon was the driver. A woman claims that they were doing mushrooms and drinking. And she drove, and she got into an accident. Jon Jones told the police that he had nothing to do with it. He was at home. Jon Bones Jones says he got a phone call. The woman got drunk at his house and left. So there's a new investigation. Jon may face some charges of hit and run, leaving the scene of an accident once again. He did this, 5, 10 years ago with a pregnant woman. They found cocaine in the car. Jones ran off. I'm not sure what happened there. He probably got a slap on the wrist, maybe some fines or probation. Here we go again. Coincidence? I don't think so. Jones retires. Dana announces retirement. Jones gets a new charge. Now this doesn't look bad on the UFC. It only looks bad on Jon Jones. Jon Jones had this to say after the news broke regarding his arrest. This is what Jones had to say. Keep in mind, even the media can get it wrong. If they don't have all the facts, don't believe everything you read online. That's Johnny Bones in response to his arrest or his charges for hit and run back in February. This is from the Albuquerque Journal. Jon Bones said this via his ex. Police investigating the crash came across a woman in the front passenger seat exhibiting signs of significant intoxication and lacking clothes from the waist down. The woman reportedly said Jones was the driver but fled the scene on foot. The Journal, this is from the Albuquerque Journal, learned a criminal summons accusing Jon Jones, 37, of misdemeanor charges leading to the scene of an accident in February was filed Tuesday in Metropolitan Court in New Mexico. So they filed it Tuesday. That's it. Johnny Bones in trouble again. Johnny Bones retired. Tom Aspinall is your new champion. That's it, guys, huh? What do you think? Fun day. It's a Sunday. Big news on a Sunday. Johnny Bones Jones. Wow. So that's it, guys. What do we do now? Tom Aspinall? Cyril Gane? Sounds good to me. Wow. What do we do now, huh? Be right back. There we go. I'll say this. Tom Aspinall will probably defend his title once this year. Hopefully, he'll fight 2 or 3 times next year. I think that we'll see Jon Bones doing a lot of promoting. I think he'll get the itch back. He might step in the ring one more time. I'm not sure if it'd be the UFC ring. Could be somewhere else. Could be the boxing ring. Could be dirty boxing. You know, who knows? I think we'll see Jon Jones compete. I think we'll see him in grappling tournaments, wrestling. Jon needs the limelight. You know, he wants to be in the spotlight. I think we'll see him again. I think Tom Aspinall will be a great champion. I don't see much competition in the heavyweight division right now. I think the UFC should sign 3 or 4 really good heavyweights. Find them somewhere. I don't know if they're out there. Maybe grab some super heavyweights and put them in the UFC PI that have some skills and get them down to 265. I don't know. You know, I'm not sure what the answer is to that. But the UFC is lacking heavyweight talent. Let's just be honest. They're absolutely flooded from 185 down. 205 up, a little thin. As my wife would say, tin. She's from the Philippines. She says, I say thin. She says tin. Johnny Bones Jones retired. Here's what Dana White had to say about Jon Jones after he turned them down. Jon Jones asked for a lot of money. After much negotiation, the UFC got him that money, and Jon said he was in. Then a couple days later, he said he was out. Ever since then, the UFC has been trying to convince him to come back, and he said no. The UFC have known for quite some time, for several months out, that he was out. This was actually from Ariel Helwani. Ariel Helwani had some news he didn't want to say. Dana White is visibly not happy about this. Visibly unhappy about this. GSP said Tom Aspinall was the solution to crack Jon Jones. Jon Jones, here's what GSP had to say. Jon Jones is probably the best to ever do it. And Tom Aspinall may be the solution to that crack the code of the question that everybody wants to find. There you have it. Johnny Bones is retired. Tom Aspinall is your champ. Jon Jones is back in the spotlight for a hit and run. And there's your news for today. Have a great day, fight fans.